Hi, this is Wasabi. Hope you're doing well. And today I want to talk about YouTubers, influencers, content creators, you name it. This is what this video is about because there have been some stuff going on online that you may or may not have heard about, but I want to talk about it, which is an AI version of yourself. Now, depending on how long you've been on this channel, AI is not some brand new topic. I'm pretty sure to anybody and their grandma, they have not heard about it. And it's scary. It is some scary stuff. But today I'm not talking about ChatGPT or anything like that. I'm talking about what if instead of me being here, what if I just had some AI do it instead? I have like some little virtual tuber. I have everything's all AI generated. Or you know what? What if you had an AI version of mrbeast? Imagine that.
We spent $2.5 trillion to create the AI version of mrbeast. Literally analyzed hundreds of hours of mrbeast content to create Jimmy Twinsy. Not only do I look and sound like Jimmy, I actually think like him too. And I am currently on an uninhabited, abandoned planet, and I plan to stay here for the next 100 years, starting now.
Now, to be honest, what you just saw isn't exactly like mind-blowing. It isn't scary, at least avatar-wise. Now, the voice, though, it does sound pretty convincing. I'm not going to lie. Listening to it, I was like, the enunciation, the pronunciation, everything all sounded on point. I couldn't tell if that was like an AI voice filter in the sense of you say something and then you just put a filter over it and it sounds just like that person. I've talked about it in the past in many other videos. I'll have a link in the description below if you want to check out a video like that. But essentially there's a way where you can sit there and say like how I'm talking right now. I could try and do an impression of how mrbeast talks, and then I can put a filter over my voice so that it sounds just like his voice. I just happen to do all the talking first, and then I just put a filter over it. Now, I don't know if that was the technology being used here or if it's something like 11 Labs. I couldn't tell you. But regardless, this is some pretty scary territory because it does lead to potentially repercussions, if you will. Now, this is where things actually all got started for me. I saw this on my timeline a couple days ago. I was like, what the fuck is this? And so that's where they said, we created the AI version of mrbeast. You can even speak to him if you like. Check out our new podcast as we interview him. mrbeast, and then they linked to a chat bot, and they said also this is a test to start a conversation. We are not making money off his likeness. And then mrbeast replied back himself saying, what in God's name is this? It's actually the only reason how I even knew what this was. Now, I did want to try out the chat bot because this is the chat bot link. I wanted to chat with mrbeast himself and I wanted to send a message and all that, but I have to create a Telegram account, which I'm not going to do. But I will say one thing. One thing I think that is kind of like you're skirting some territory lines is even having this set up. Because when you have something like this set up, and let me just show you. When you have this all set up and it says, hello, meet mrbeast, and it says, about James Stephen Donaldson, which they said better known as mrbeast, is an American YouTuber and philanthropist. He is credited with pioneering a genre of YouTube videos that center on expensive stunts and challenges. If you don't have anything here that says not affiliated with mrbeast himself or any form of disclaimer, what's to say that someone comes by and they use this and they think that it's actually a product that mrbeast himself owns? This is something that he officially endorses. Clearly, from what I showed you in that text, he didn't even know what the fuck this was. He didn't even know it was a thing until just when he saw that. So it kind of leads in that weird territory. How many people are going to start making more shit like this? And then let's say someone creates something nefarious, or they create some shit where it's set up where the entire purpose of the bot is to try and scam audiences out of money or giveaways, or they have it where, hey, mrbeast, how's it going? And then they do some shit like, hey man, since you've been a long time chatter, you've been chatting with me, you know, I think you're pretty cool. You want to win a giveaway? You want to win some money? Cool. Click on this link. I mean, there's a lot of shit that you could clearly do instead of now going to a comment section on YouTube and getting your comment deleted or a spam blacklist or whatever you want to call it. Now you can probably do it this way. Just fish it out. Be like, hey, you want to talk to mrbeast? Go through here. And then they can create some shit where it can be a way to fish, scam, get any type of information out of you. There's so many nefarious purposes of things that could happen from this. And I know for some people watching this video, you're probably asking yourself, who's really going to fall for that? Who's really going to get that attached to a fucking bot? And trust me, if you looked on the internet long enough, there are a lot of people who are paid just to talk to girls that are not even real. It's just a fucking chat bot. They see that a girl that they like, they think is beautiful, they think is pretty. They sit there and see that she made a bot that is like almost talking to her herself, and then they pay money to talk to her on a daily basis, even though it's not even her. If there are people who are willing to do that, think about how many people are going to talk to a Mr. Beast bot. They're going to probably talk to him, hey, can you give me ideas for a YouTube video? Can you do this? Can you do that? You know, there are going to be a lot of people who get ingrained into these bots, and they're going to sit there and start forming these, even if it might not be intentional, they start forming parasocial relationships with these bots, if you will, and they start thinking they're talking to the real Mr. Beast, or they have like a friendship with them, and then all it takes is just to start in certain lines of code. I don't know how it would be done, but I'm pretty sure it could be, and then the bot starts doing all this extra shit, starts trying to deceive users or lure users into clicking on website links or doing this or that, because once you get them in long enough, once they've invested a lot of time, they start creating that connection. It's a lot easier to do things like that. And there was one comment that I read that I agree with 100%. It says, if I were you, dude, I would try to legally shut this down. It's a slippery slope that can only lead to bad things for you. And I agree. If you've been on the internet long enough and you see how much shit that Mr. Beast gets into, this is probably the last thing he wants to be dealing with. Now they have AI versions of himself, clones, and people now are going to probably even go to even higher lengths to try and deceive people. It's very possible. You can sit there and say, well, we're not making money off his likeness. We're not doing this. You can say that. And I mean, that's fine. And who knows, maybe Mr. Beast will lead this up, but I feel like it's only a matter of time until this technology becomes good enough where any popular big influencer or creator is going to start having AI versions made of them without their consent, and then it's going to lead down this whole slippery slope of people sending emails to their Twitter, or not emails, sending tweets to their Twitter, and they're like, man, I talked to someone on the internet that was labeled as you, and I thought it was really you, and it wasn't, and I lost money, and can you do something about it? Or I sit there and message you and you say you're going to give me a giveaway, and the creator's going to be like, what the fuck are you talking about? I didn't give no giveaway. And then they see it as some chat bot or some AI bot, or creators find out that their likeness is being used for so many different platforms with voice notes and all this other shit of the creator saying this and they're saying that, yada yada. I don't know. I couldn't really tell you, but I am curious to see how this plays out, because Mr. Beast is not like some small time creator. This is someone that tries to do good by a lot of people, and it's very easy for people to get deceived or confused because they see things like on TikTok. I see it all the fucking time. You see people call themselves Mr. Beast and they got a blue check mark, but it's not really Mr. Beast's account, and it just stays up, and then people are like, oh my god, it's Mr. Beast here, and then realistically it's not. Once you click on the profile, it's just someone who bought an account, and then they would just change their name to like Mr. Beast. It's very deceptive and it's very scummy. Now I want to clarify something real quick before someone acts like I'm super naive and that this is my first time seeing this, or that this is the first person making a Mr. Beast AI bot, clone, whatever you want to call it. No, I'm trust me, I know this shit already exists. It's just now that Mr. Beast acknowledges it, he sees it, he doesn't do anything about it, he lets it stay. It just gives more attention to it, to now it starts bringing other people who may have not even thought about it. Because I'm not gonna lie, it didn't cross my mind, but now that I've seen it, it's like, oh, you know, a Mr. Beast bot have a AI video version of him. People are gonna start looking at, how do I create an AI version of Mr. Beast? How do I create an AI clone or a voice? How do I get all that going? Once you get those gears turning, dog, you can't stop it. Now granted, just like everybody else, I'm not stupid. I know once the cat's out the bag, you can't put it back in there. This is already out there. You're not going to be able to really shut it down. You can't stop it. So I'm kind of curious to see how this all plays out as time progresses. Now, while the Mr. Beast AI thing is kind of intriguing, there is another YouTuber who is actually pretty big that has now tried to make everything all AI done. They don't really have any input into it other than just, I guess, to get it started when it was all starting to happen. But you may have heard of him, Cop. They were a big YouTuber, and then they kind of fell off the face of the earth, and now their whole obsession is what AI this, AI that, AI. It almost sounds like a nightmare, to be honest, the more I keep saying it. And so this is his page. He got 15.1 million subscribers, 5.2k videos, nothing to snuff at. That's a fuckload of videos. This is where they started doing the whole AI shit. And then if you want to see what their most popular shit is, you could tell that it looks like it was probably like factory made content, in the sense of it all feels very generic. You got the sniper wolf pose, got him just sitting there just reacting to shit, playing games. To me, it's pretty much all cookie cutter, easy ass content. But you know what? People enjoy it. I'm pretty sure there's a majority of kids who like this shit based on everything I'm seeing here. But you get the point. At one point was a very big YouTuber, and then for a very long time, but for 15.1 million subscribers, the view counts weren't doing too hot at all. They were doing pretty bad. Cop is now jacked into the internet and is now starting to do AI videos today. Like this, where everything is supposed to be all AI manufactured and done. This, the text, the voice, everything's supposed to be just like him, but he didn't actually do anything like this. Now, I don't think you need me to tell you how depressing and sad that might sound. It's very depressing. I think it's terrible. I think it's the worst idea ever. but I'll explain my reason in a second. Let me show you what he thinks of it. So this is a rabbit hole that I went down for like an hour or so, just looking into this and seeing all the responses, especially from someone who's already doing this, because, you know, I genuinely want to understand. I want to see a perspective that maybe I haven't considered. But even in the end, I still don't agree with any of it. But let me show you Quebblecop's perspective. So Quebblecop says, we are developing a 100% AI viral YouTube video tool and have been testing it publicly for the past 6 months. He continues on by saying a lot of people confuse Quebblecop AI with my other project. It's a whole different thing he's working on. But for the one he currently has, he says Quebblecop AI, on the other hand, is powered by AI, but not fully autonomous. We certainly are capable of doing this, but we are not doing this for a couple reasons. The goal is to get Quebblecop AI to be 100% and still be able to perfectly capture the Quebblecop brand. The brand, that's what we aim for with this launch. The real question was if it was possible enough to capture Quebblecop with AI to make it feel like me. We'll be rolling out improvements to Quebblecop AI over the next few months to make a bigger percentage of content AI generated without human adjustments. And then he talks about his Project V is supposed to be a whole entire production of a YouTube video with the editing, scripting, images, voices. It even has a VTuber in there, photorealistic or animated, whatever you want. It takes about 10 minutes for a full video to be produced. It does everything. You can have a video idea, type in Discord command, and 10 minutes later, post this video to X. He continues on by saying, if anyone's skeptical about my claims, no doubt I will give a live demo in October and I can 100% back up all my claims. We have multiple monetized pages with millions of total views. It's all public. Good luck finding them. We will reveal them when we're ready. For now, it seems like the world isn't ready for a tool this magnitude, and Quebblecop AI launch and discussions have accelerated the education adoption rate of Gen AI content. And so that's pretty much like his whole little spiel for his like pitch. And so continuing on, someone asked a good question. It says, but if someone can make their own AI generated content with just a prompt, why would anyone watch mine? Genuine question, not trying to argue. And so Quebblecop says the same thing is happening right now on YouTube and other social media platforms. The platforms will recommend videos most appealing to the viewer. Your AI video will be different than mine since you will provide a different input versus me. For example, I might want to produce tons of history videos since I love history. You might want to do the opposite and build a channel with your face sharing active news topics in an entertaining way. Now, this is where I come in and I say this is all a load of baloney, a load of dog shit. Not with the technology, because I do think it's very capable. I do not deny that. And if you don't think it's capable, then take a look at this.
Hi, Jody Van Den Bosch. Thanks for your interest in our ultra-realistic avatar feature for your use case AI YouTube videos. We will get back to you soon. By the way, this is an automated video message generated with my avatar. Hope you like it and talk soon.
Now, of course, when me telling you that was done by AI, you're probably like, oh, all right, well, hey, I could tell by the speech. I could have told from this or I could have known from that. But if I didn't tell you that was AI at all, then you would probably just think that it's someone who just has trouble speaking English. Again, I'm telling you, this shit's pretty crazy. But I think that having AI content, having everything be made without your input at all is a waste of time. I think it's useless. And the reason I say that is because you kind of forget the whole purpose of YouTube. At least the original purpose, which was you, the creator, me. If I'm not here, if it's just a fucking AI, I don't even touch any of this shit, and I just mass produce videos, then what's the fucking point? Typically, when it comes to content like commentary or any type of form where the creator themselves is present, they're on the screen most of the time, you cannot replace that with AI. Maybe for faceless videos where all you do is narration, you can sit there and have AI and you can just mass produce that shit. Sure, go right ahead. I don't think it's going to be good because I feel like you need that human touch to it. Call me crazy. Maybe I'm out of touch. Maybe this is a dystopian world that's going to come soon where everything on YouTube is just AI generated. But I personally believe that when you sit there and you take the human aspect out of making something like YouTube videos, then you as a creator don't exist. What is the purpose of a viewer being invested in you or caring about you? Let's say that your channel got DMCA'd and you're just a fucking AI bot or an AI tuber. What viewer's going to give a fuck about helping you because you're not even real? The creator that made you doesn't even give a fuck enough to be there for you to get invested into. The whole reason a lot of channels get big and the whole reason why a lot of parasocial relationships exist is because a lot of people feel that connection. They feel like a personal bond with the creator that they watch. When you watch my videos, depending on how long you've been watching, maybe you get that type of relationship. You get that type of parasocial relationship because you feel like I'm your buddy and we're talking, we're having a good time. That's typically what viewers want and enjoy. That's why you see so many Twitch streamers that are very big and very huge, and a lot of people that like to just engage with that streamer all the time because they feel like they have that connection. That is pretty much the crux of it. When you sit there and you remove the human aspect of an actual creator being there, then it's just like, why am I invested into this? Who is this creator? Because for me, a lot of the content that I consume is because of the creator themselves. I fuck with the creator. I think they're cool. I like their content. But if I know it's all AI generated and there's nothing really like passion or even a person behind it, there's no connection for me to have to be made with the video or the content that is being made. And so for some of the benefits that this could have, this is what Quebecop said. AI generated videos can help your favorite creators take a break, scale their brand, die, and know that their life work can live on forever. I'm gonna be honest, dog. Whenever I pass away, I'll rather just my shit end at whatever the last video I uploaded was. I don't need that shit continuing. I would much rather know that with my own input, with everything that I thought from this noogle, from this little noodle, this little noggin, at least I know that all that content was created from me, and that's what's gonna stay there. No matter how much someone wants to try and sell the image or the idea that all X creator is gonna live on in our hearts forever and all this content is gonna be content that they would have made, exactly. No shot. No fucking way, all right? Without that human touch, without that, because when I say human touch, I mean that someone was actually, you know, they thought of this is what they came up with, this is what they made. That is what I mean when I say human touch. Let's go mrbeast, for example. If he had a whole bunch of videos get batch made from AI, he had no input at all. Let's say he passed away. Everyone's just going to keep saying it doesn't hit the same. Would mrbeast have really made this? You know, it's just going to be a bunch of shit like that. Because while a lot of value comes from the content itself and the entertainment or whatever value might come from it, there is another percentage of value which comes from the creator themselves. If you don't have that value, that connection with the creator, then you kind of just lose a lot of the, at least in my opinion, important factor, important value of those videos. I remember there was a whole shitstorm that happened back with, who was it? Anna Oop? I don't know if I'm saying it correctly, but there was a whole thing that went on where originally people thought it was a channel ran by this girl, and they thought that she had all this shit going on, that she did it. She ran the Twitter. She was creating all these videos. She was editing them. She had all these multiple channels. And then people found out that it was actually a corporation, and that 9 times out of 10, that person that was tweeting on that Twitter account was probably like some 40-year-old guy that was just trying to figure out the most engaging tweets to post. That's very sad. That is just very bad. And then people are like, what the fuck was this? This is fucking awful. But of course, people are still going to eat it up because at the end of the day, they're like, well, it's entertaining enough, I guess. And I think that's probably what's going to happen when it comes to AI content on this platform. More times than not, a lot of people genuinely do not give a fuck if the content was made by AI or not, just as long as it entertains them or gives them value. And so there's a big chance that that's what's going to happen on this platform. And then I guess real creators like me or anybody else that currently does all this shit, we just evaporate into thin air, and you'll just be watching your next AI commentary channel that just made it within a second of news breaking on the internet. And it's just a very, I don't know, very sterile, very basic takes or things that don't even make any logical sense because there is no actual person behind it, or at least the thoughts and the logical conclusions that come to it. But I digress. Anyways, I just want to talk about this because I do think it's a very fascinating topic. I do like to look into this stuff. When this little shit happens in October that he's talking about debuting it, I'll look into it. I might even talk about it because I am curious to just see how far this shit can go. I don't really agree with it. I don't think that AI content or AI YouTubers is really the wave, the future as he likes to look at it as. But who knows? Maybe my statements will age like milk and I could be completely wrong. I guess we'll see in due time. Anyways, yeah, thank you for watching. Bye-bye.